Whereas people like us, we reserve the right to break all
Yep.
the rules
Yep.
gleefully. Race is on marriages and relationships, and it is
True.
we are schooled and we are taught to do all kinds of things, even driving, even though is there an intervention for that purpose. So for married couples, those who are planning to get married, you are doing. And if you know of any couple that are struggling in their relationship, buy for them.
Good question.
Yeah. And I'll be answering the question, does love die? Can love even die? Please join us. Kojo, on Friday, 9th April 2021, the news broke. He would have turned 100 in just 2 months.
2 months, yeah.
Since the death of the prince, I have spent a lot of time reading and researching and watching anything Prince. I watched the live funeral service of the prince on YouTube. One, the British monarchy was determined to set a good example in following the COVID-19 restrictions. Only 30 people wore nose masks. Talk about leadership by example. If an important person dies in Ghana, even with all the COVID-19 restrictions in place, I cannot say very important. That was a man who was a patron of over 800 organizations and had a personal husband of the Queen, who was head of the Commonwealth, comprising over 50 countries. Now, could you imagine if every one of those organizations, the Queen insisted on keeping the funeral private and open to only 30 family members? Even the members of the British military, who had a we came out of the chapel, there was not a single military man to be seen. They were gone. It is instructive to see this powerful monarchy set the right example and operate within the COVID-19 rules. It was a simple funeral, and it was still very moving and powerful. And the third thing that stood out for me at the funeral was the fact that Prince Philip planned his own funeral before he died. And he wanted a very simple.
I started that same afternoon. That same afternoon.
You started your funeral. and have come to love. I'm always amazed when those who can afford overboard. The prince is widely known as a man who had attention to detail, and it was obvious that his COVID. Can you imagine? From the role of the military, even to the music they could play, from the inclusion of his personal career, everything, and in that we gain insight into the kind of person he was. He was a great, especially after his wife became the queen. Prince Philip had to walk 2 steps behind his wife and had to combine the 2 family names so they could have Windsor and Mountbatten. His family name initially was only one of them. But even before the children came, he had to abandon his Greek and Danish title career. He had risen to the rank of commander in the Navy, but when his wife became the reigning queen of the United Kingdom and of the Commonwealth realm, Greek Orthodox Church, into which he had been baptized and become an Anglican, all for the sake, that is Elizabeth's father, did not think that Philip was good enough for Elizabeth. Links, and he was a prince without home or kingdom. Even Elizabeth's mother was reported to have had reservation, who was regarded as unsuitable for Elizabeth, was married to her for 73 years, making 1997. On the occasion of their 50th wedding anniversary, the Queen, in a speech, said Prince Philip and this and many other countries owe him a debt greater than he would ever claim or wish alive. Make no mistake about it. The role of consort to a reigning accomplished. Not many men can accept the situation where their wives have more prominence and more status than they. In their case, it was the man, JFK, with all the power. But it was his wife, Jackie, whom the media and the crowds were interested in, and with an extensive knowledge of French history. Time magazine showered a lot of praise on her, and then wrote, President of the United States of America, Jackie's husband.
Imagine.
There was and there was also that fellow who accompanied.
Wow.
And at a dinner on the same French trip, President Kennedy himself joked, quote, "I'm the man who accompanied Jacqueline Kennedy to Paris, and I have enjoyed it." No, he hadn't. He was lying. Trouble. The fact is that not many men can cope with a wife who has more power and prestige in society than they, the men, do. And most men who find themselves in that position have in the marriage. Because I know a woman who got a chance to feature in a film that became a hit right here in Ghana. His family, who sent a message to the woman's family to warn their daughter to stop competing with their son and sing as consort to the queen for 73 years. That is a mark of a great man, because a great man is one who does not think of a great man. And that is what Prince Philip did. He was called the strength behind the throne. And that is why he was a great man, all his gaffes and things like that notwithstanding. May she be comforted on the passing of the only man she has loved, her friend and support and spouse of 73 years. God bless the Queen.
I watched the service myself. I was so overwhelmingly impressed.
Yeah.
Was Boris Johnson there?
No, he was standing in front.
Yeah.
Could not.
Can you imagine that?
Would not have been permitted there. If he had made a mistake to walk in there,
They would have
sent him back.
Can you imagine that
Yeah.
in Ghana? Oh yes, no. Anyway. Thank you so much.
We'll
Uncle. Thank you. Thank you.
That is
Uncle.
leadership by example.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing you on
Your
Thursday.
funeral. Share your funeral plans with me so that
I will actually.
if you go before me, I can help with the implementation of that.
Yes. Please enforce
And I'll give you my.
template either of us going anywhere. But the truth
but
is,
you know, none of us is getting out of this alive. Oh.
well, that's the problem.
So we may as well make
Might
the
as well
best of
make
every
plans.
day,
Indeed.
and then put a brave face and let our going. The man.
Let me just say, my extended family will not be happy. Okay. Uncle Ebo returns.